Welcome, everybody. My name is Miguel, and I'm the VP of Marketing here at Voler Systems. And I'm delighted to have with you today Shahin Khan from OrionX. We're going to do another episode of our Partner Showcase series. So, Shahin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Miguel, great to be here. I've been a big fan of Voler for several years now, and always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so tell me a little bit about you and tell me a little bit about OrionX.
Right. So, OrionX, our real motivation is to try to understand the impact of technology on the rest of the world. Where that manifests itself for us, and where we've had the background to pursue it, is its impact on how companies engage with the market and the customers. That's a really big piece of it. And the other piece of it is how it impacts policy at the global level and at the local level. And we sort of try to coin a phrase, technopolitics, as a way of understanding the impact of technology on geopolitics, which has become more and more visible in recent years. But really, customer engagement and market engagement is where we do a lot of our active work.
Fantastic. And I know from our conversations, from checking out your website, from also speaking with our founder, Walt McClay, who has known you for quite some time, that you do focus, your organization focuses a lot on Internet of Things, the IoT space as well, right?
Very much so, very much so. Now, in that part of the business, we have set ourselves up as an industry analyst firm. But whereas traditionally an industry analyst firm can take one area and go deep, our view was that companies really have a whole digital transformation that they are considering and sometimes grappling with. So IoT is really a big piece of that puzzle. As you see with the image behind me, it starts with IoT because that's the fountain of data. It needs to get communicated as your devices need to, whether it's within it, whether it's a mobile device or a cloud or a data center. And that is manifested by things like Wi-Fi, LTE, Bluetooth, 4G, the whole spectrum from LoRaWAN all the way to, whatever the latest thing is. And then it needs to be made sense of. That's AI and analytics. And then how can you kind of ignore blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and quantum? So we spun that by saying blockchain is a good way to transact the data, and it's emerging as a new way. And then quantum computing is an example of how you can accelerate certain functions. So those are the areas that we try to track and connect the dots. But IoT is the fountain, and it's something that we always try to keep a presence in.
It's very interesting. Yeah, certainly the pandemic has only accelerated. We've been talking about digital transformation for decades. It's become a platitude, but certainly we're seeing more and more that indeed cars and cities and buildings, everything is becoming smarter and everything is becoming interconnected. And so what are some, maybe just, we're keeping this short and sweet today, but what are just maybe one or two megatrends that you're seeing in this Internet of Things space today?
Right. So one of the things that we've seen is that what was and is IoT, and some people call it IoE for Internet of Everything, is morphing into edge computing. Because edge is just a new wave in some ways. Fundamentally, it's still the same path as what it was, but it's definitely getting into the second phase of IoT, in my view. Now, that is happening on the backdrop of the entire IT environment moving from, really, it was starting with terminal mainframe in the old days, and then it went to client server, then it went to mobile cloud. And for a brief 5-minute period, we thought that you get an iPhone at one end and Amazon at the other end, and you're done. And it turns out that you're far from done, that everything in the middle wants to be smart, wants to spew out data, wants to participate in an intelligent way in the whole data fabric that is being formed. So we think that the new era is really the edge to core, where core includes the data center and the cloud and sort of like the whole back end. And the enterprise is now turning into a data fabric and a system, including the extended enterprise, where every node in this fabric wants to be smart. Like my joke is that we used to say a car is a computer on wheels. Now every wheel is a computer. So if you think that everything is going to be a computer, somebody has to design these computers. Somebody has to design them well. And I think that's really one great segue into where Voler comes in, because that stuff is hard to do. And unless you've been doing it for a living for a long time, in which case, you would know each other.
Right.
You kind of really need the expertise to do that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a good segue into really my final question for our brief chat today, Shahin, in terms of where Voler Systems could perhaps add value. As you know, we've been very strong in medical devices and wearables throughout the years, and frankly, throughout the decades in the Bay Area and beyond. But IoT, or IoE, as you say, that's an interesting Internet of Everything, is certainly a space where perhaps we can add value to customers, large and small. Can you just say a few words from your vantage
Yeah,
point?
without a doubt. I think that fundamentally customers need a partner in this area. Now, some customers know what they're doing, more power to them. That's great. They have the right background. But really, the vast majority, the bulk of the market, needs help because this stuff is hard. So you have to know how to do embedded programming. You have to know about communication protocols. You have to know about components and costs. There are different muscles that you use to do embedded programming, mobile programming, cloud programming, desktop programming. And to understand the differences, it needs to be secure. So you need to understand the attack surface and cybersecurity. Where are the sensors now at any given time? What sort of a component can you get that does this, that, and the other, and does it for less than $3 a piece? Unless you're in the market, you're not going to know these things. And you really need a trusted partner that designed this for you, that can become an extended part of your engineering team. Whether you're building a bigger embedded system and what you want is a component in that big embedded system, or whether it's just a product that you want to put out to market and you know how to do this part of it, but really not do this other part of it, I think a partnership with a company like Voler is absolutely what you need to do. And based on my personal experience with Voler, is definitely one of the companies that I always bring up and recommend.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Shahin. We appreciate the partnership with OrionX, and long may it continue. And so Shahin Khan, folks, partner and analyst at OrionX, a fantastic partner of many, many years of Voler Systems. Yeah, I want to thank you, Shahin, for joining me for this brief chat today.
Thank you, Miguel. Always a pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you very much all for watching, and stay tuned for the next installment of our Partner Showcase series. Take care.